Welcome to Casual Clix's Clix Talk, where today's topic is going to be Batman the Animated Series. More specifically, of course, the Heroclix set, because like I said, everything I want to talk about in Casual Clix's Clix Talk is tied to Heroclix. So here, I'm going to start with the Joker. This is actually the number 003 from the set. While I do have Batman and Robin, of course, as number 1 and number 2, I have something a little more, a little better planned for the heroes, since there are fewer heroes in the set in general. I also kind of wanted to skip over these two because they don't have any special powers. So, you know, they're a little basic, but hey, sometimes basic is okay at their point cost. But like I said, we'll take a look at these two later. For now, we're going to fast forward to number 3, the Joker. And what I want to do with this particular episode is talk about the animated series and how it ties into this particular figure. And just to kind of delve into one of the little features that usually gets overlooked in the cards, which is the significant appearance. This particular one is based off of The Laughing Fish. That was the name of the episode, The Laughing Fish. And if you have not seen the animated series for Batman, it is an amazing series, of course. Not only is it an amazing series, it's very campy, and I wanted to go over some of the things here. And I just kind of wanted to compare the Click itself, which is the Joker, compare it to how more or less they're portrayed in the animated series, and see if we can find any resemblances. So I'm gonna go over the plot and see how the powers mix and match, and not so mix and match, and see how the powers that he has on his card kind of correlate with the episode itself. So we're gonna do an abridged version of the episode itself. Let me go ahead and set this up. So here we got the Joker fish. This is how the episode starts. Joker gets this brilliant idea to somehow poison the poor fish in Gotham, and it but it poisons them with the Joker venom, or the Joker toxin, whatever it's called, and of course causes them to look like this. So Joker gets the bright idea. Not only is this one of his brilliant ideas, his next brilliant idea comes when he wants to trademark the Joker fish, because he goes to this poor little pencil pusher, as he calls them, to tell him, that, hey, these fish look like me. I want to patent this look and get a profit out of every fish that gets sold, like everywhere. That was his master plan. So when I said it's a little campy, it's definitely very campy, and it has its hilarious moments like this scene here. So, of course, unfortunately, this poor pencil pusher cannot do anything about the current laws the way they are. Tells the Joker that's not possible. We can't trademark something that's a natural resource. Joker, of course, not wanting to take no for an answer, goes out and still makes a commercial for that particular Joker fish. And there's several varieties of types of fish that he also has for sale. And during this kooky commercial, it dawned on me, hey, it would have been great to give this Joker some form of mind control, because throughout the episode, and this is going to tie into what happens a little bit later on in the episode too, the Joker here somehow convinces his thugs to dress up like children. One is dressed like a boy with that little helicopter hat. I don't know what it's called. I know it has a name, but I don't know it. And the other person looks like he's dressed like the Wendy's girl. And of course, Harley, always the ever lovable sidekick, doing the Joker's bidding. So I felt like at this point in the cartoon, the Joker should have had some sort of mind control on his clique. Going forward, one design thing I would like to have seen is that later in the episode, he wears this fishing hat when he captures Bullock, and he's reeling him in with a huge fishing pole. And I would like to have seen this hat on this Joker. I don't know why, when he was wearing it in the episode, I thought it was brilliant. It's just hilarious. It's a great joke on the Joker. So throughout the episode, oh God, I haven't even gotten to this part. Okay, so throughout the episode, of course, he poisons this poor little schlub, and then manages to somehow poison another schlub who's above him by not tricking, but he gives his cat. I couldn't find a still of that part. He gives the cat a Joker fish. Here it is. So the cat is, of course, the cat of the second bigwig, of the second person in charge, because he already got rid of this guy. And so, naturally, of course, I don't know why, but in this cartoon universe, for some reason, this cat, of course, then attacks his master, as opposed to attacking someone else. And it turns out that, that the master was actually disguised as Batman, and Batman was disguised as the person. At that point, you have to kind of understand that this is all just a cartoon, right? You have to take a huge step back from reality, because, what made the cat go and attack its owner? Joker has to have some sort of mind control. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. And as the episode progresses, like I mentioned, that he captures Bullock. But Batman, ever, being the valiant hero, of course, sacrifices himself instead. And it creates this great scene in the show where he's riding a shark. And I thought I would bring this up, even though it's not related to Joker. But I mean, it's in the episode. But I feel like this was a missed opportunity for WizKids to create a Batman riding a shark chase figure. Just let that sink in. I like the Justice League theme that they got, but I would have much preferred a Batman riding a shark chase figure in the set. Make it happen, WizKids. Please make it happen. And look, I found a GIF of this scene. Very, very cool. So going back to the Joker here. How does this tie into everything? Well, let's look at the Joker's powers. So he's got probability control, which I think is very fitting, because in the episode, Joker's the kind of person that makes his own luck. Like, he went out and made that happen. He got the bright idea of not only just for psychotic reasons to poison the fish in Gotham, but I'm also going to go market this and trademark it and make money off of this. Again, making his own luck. And the sidestep, well, I mean, it's sidestep. It's a good movement power. I guess we're not going to delve too much into that. What we are going to look into is, does this smell funny to you? Bat's special power that he has, which is smoke cloud free. Make a close attack targeting an opposing character, occupying a square with his smoke cloud marker, regardless of adjacency. Instead of normal damage, give a hit character an action token. So it's like, it's not like, it is a weaker incapacitate, which is fine, considering the Joker himself has a pretty good dial for 30 points. He's got some things that you would want to see in a 30-point dial, which first is probability control. And let's go back here just to show you that I was looking up figures that had, that were more or less 30 points and had probability control, and he pretty much outclasses them all. These are something else. But up to here, like the Flash had 30 points. This is the Chase Flash from the same series, coincidentally. And, it serves a different purpose. Doesn't serve the same purpose as the Joker, so he does have a solid starting dial. However, the Joker has 2 solid opening dials for 30 points, and the back 2 are not bad either. For 30 points, like I said, he outclasses almost every other, if not all the others, probability control figures in his point range. Coupled with the Batman enemy team ability, which of course only serves to help bring his attack value up, meaning that he can actually get some attacks in, because he has a decent, which 10 now is the norm, 11 being high. He's got good chances of hitting thanks to his probability control and having his average attack values. On top of that, getting to make smoke cloud. So he makes that smoke cloud for free, which, in the very least, with the rules update, it will no longer hinder and slow down opponents. But in the very least, if Smoke Cloud manages to stay the same, it would still give opposing characters occupying one or more of these markers -1 attack. No one wants -1 to their attack. No one wants their attacks probbed because that's what he has and that's what he does. And the Incapacitate, like power, is not the greatest, but again, no one wants tokens on their characters. You want your characters free of tokens, free of action tokens, so you're able to keep taking turns, actions turn after turn. Well, this is a very solid support piece. It's kind of like if you're building a team and you need a good support piece. For 30 points, he can't be beat, considering he's a common. Just some ways to kind of spice him up and build some teams around him. I'm not going to go too much into detail, but just rather throw out ideas regarding any team builds, some synergies that you can do with the Joker. And it's up to you to mix and match the pieces that you want to fit depending on the ideas that I give you. Hopefully I give you some ideas anyway. Well, starting with the Incapacitate-like power. Of course, whenever you see something like that, you want to pair it with more powers that incapacitate or add tokens. Some recommendations here from me are going to be, let me get this screen over here, are Mr. Freeze here, for example. He is a bit hefty at 100 points, but he does have that Incapacitate that can also damage opponents. And, speaking of, my advice to anyone wanting to work with the Batman enemy team ability, if you're like me and you like to play with that team ability, always have someone available that starts with 11 attack. This is all dependent on your playstyle. What do you want to do at this point with this Joker, right? Do you want to make him a little more, do you want to be a little more aggressive with this Joker? If so, you want to try to get someone that's better, more competent in close combat, like Two-Face here. For the reason I mentioned, because he can generate the suited henchmen, which work great in close quarters, because they have charge, quake, blades, poison, flurry. Like most of their clicks, close combat expert, most of their clicks are geared towards close combat, and not so much range combat, which, as you can see, is only one of these clicks. So if you're going to go the route of being kind of aggressive with the Joker and using the Joker to kind of get those tokens on there and harass your opponent, my recommendation to you would be to take Two-Face with him. And then the opposite, if you're going to want Joker to play a more support role, hang back, use that prob to the best of his ability. Because remember, he can still use probability control from a range of 6, as it has a minimum range value of 6. So ignore his 4. You can still reach out 6. And in that case, he would hang back and benefit off of someone like Jervis Tetch here, who has a 7 range with 11 attack. So the Joker can also use that 11 attack should the opposing figures get closer. And finally, there's Super Rare Joker here at 75 points. And going this route, of course, is this Joker is more stabby, as you can see, with his 11 attack blades, charge, plasticity. So he wants to be in close quarters and he wants to keep those opponents trapped, so he can do his maximum damage. And at the same time, he also has Outwit and Perplex that he can use at a minimum range value of 9. Wouldn't recommend to keep him at a range value of 9 to use a 75 point character to just use Outwit and Perplex. Not that that's a great combination of powers. However, for 75 points, you want to be doing more damage. You want to leave those support powers of only sticking to using certain powers at lower point values, not at 75 points. In a 300 point game, the higher you go, of course, then that would not be a bad strategy at all. Let's keep going here. I wanted to look for the present so you could see what this Joker does. If you decide to pair the Joker with the Joker Christmas Present, which gives you the effect for you roll a d6. 1, you're no fun. Christmas Present is KO'd. 2 to 5, pie in the face. This turn, this character can use Incapacitate with a range value of 3. And free, if you roll a 6, drop the family off. Choose an opposing character within 6 squares in line of fire. That character can't be given actions except move actions during its next turn. So it just adds a little bit of zaniness to this build if you're gonna go in this direction. So so you see how flexible this Joker is. Depending on what character you decide to build around, this Joker's role changes to match that other character's personality. And that's why I say he's a great support character for Arkham Asylum and Gotham City Underworld. And coming soon with the updates that are coming to Willpower, the last 2 Clix, him being able to just constantly move, not constantly move, but move every 2 turns instead of skipping turns and moving. And with the added potential that he could remove tokens off himself to keep himself going is, again, not bad for 30 points. We compared him to the other 30-point characters that have more or less that start with probability control and have a similar power set. We've looked at 3 possible characters that you can start to build around that have that 11 attack, which, trust me, you need if you're going to want to build a an Arkham Asylum or a Gotham City Underworld team. We've taken a look at how this Joker kind of compares with his animated version. Again, I would like to have seen some mind control on this and maybe a fishing hat for the laughing fish. And the final thing, strategy tip here with the Joker is that something that I see sometimes that teams like Arkham Asylum and Gotham City, more Arkham Asylum, they lack some stealth busting. Is that this not necessarily that this power ignores stealth, but just keep in mind that because he is making a close attack when he targets an opposing character occupying his smoke cloud marker. Because of that, you can place that hindering marker underneath someone in stealth and use that as a way to kind of get around them having stealth by giving them an action token. And hopefully getting them to do something else to move out of range, as opposed to continuing to hide in the shadows. Just something to chew on as an extra strategy tip there with the Joker. So this has been Casual Clix's Clix Talk, taking a deep dive into Batman, the animated series. If you're a fan of Batman or, just want to see some of the correlations between the figures that you already play and the series that they got inspired from, I recommend, of course, to give it a shot. So as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you're notified when the next episode of Casual Clix's Clix Talk goes live. Thank you so much for watching.